Hi, Rachel. First of all, thank you very much for taking part in the Business Spotlight series. I'm going to hand it straight across to you to introduce yourself and what you do.
Well, firstly, thank you, and I'm delighted. Well, we're Doerr Dallas Valuations. I started the business just over 6 years ago. I've had a background in valuations going back to probably 1989 when I first started working for an auction house. We offer valuations, we're independent, and we predominantly are looking at insurance, probate, divorce, and we advise on sales too. But 80% of our business is probably insurance related. So we're offering clients that have no idea what their contents are worth. We're valuing their art and their assets and their jewellery and even general contents to give them an idea of what they need to be covered for.
That makes sense. And in terms of the clients for insurance, are they London based? Are they further away? Where do they tend to be?
All over, really, even abroad. We go wherever any of our clients want us to. So, I mean, we even spent last week in Barcelona valuing art on a yacht. So it can be anywhere and everywhere. We're very lucky that we have some lovely clients that have nice things. So we're very spoiled, really.
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure there was a bit of competition, I'm sure, to see who went out to the yacht in Barcelona to the valuation.
It actually does depend on the specialist and their specialism, sadly. So we always put the right person into the right place. So no, actually, it's more about what their ability is and their specialist knowledge.
Fantastic. Have you discovered any sort of surprise valuations along the way?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's the nice thing about our job, that we get to meet clients that sometimes they have no idea about the items that they do own. Obviously, some clients very much they do, but you will still go into a client's home and give a surprise. And there's always something that they personally have a vested interest that they really want to know about. But no, it's always, you know, we did a valuation the other day for a lady and she said, oh my goodness, I'm so underinsured. And she said, I just didn't know. And I think that's the whole thing about what we do. A lot of clients just they don't know, or they bought something 20, 30 years ago and hasn't realized what that asset would cost to replace today. So, and of course, if you find yourself having a claim, you could find you are underinsured, and if you're blatantly underinsured, then you know there could be complications within that claim. So unfortunately, insurance isn't sexy or exciting, and you don't read on the front of, you know, your Daily Mail or your Times, you know, about underinsurance. It's not something that's talked about, and sometimes clients can find out when it's just too late.
And are there certain things that change in value, you know, more quickly, for example?
I mean, it's like anything. I mean, at the moment, we're seeing inflation having its effect on, you know, items that need to be replaced, even down to supply and demand. Art is always going up in value, and we just don't seem to be seeing that market relax. I mean, we're seeing some fabulous results. Certainly, you know, even down to the print market. You know, years ago people weren't buying prints. Now prints are really sometimes the only thing you can afford, because the actual oil on canvas is just too expensive. So if you haven't had certainly your paintings valued, or even your jewelry valued in the last really year to 2 years, they need to be reviewed. And then we're also seeing watches. The watch market, the secondary watch market is booming, and that's again down to supply and demand. If you wanted to get a Rolex these days, you need to go on a waiting list, and that waiting list can be 3, 4, 5 years. So, and it depends, sadly, who you are. You know, it's like handbags. Did I ever think we would ever be valuing handbags? Absolutely not. Are we? Yes, we are. And that market is booming, even down to these sort of second-hand watch secondhand handbag market. It's yeah, values are going up, even down to things like sofas and, you know, tables and just general contents. And it is something that you need to look at. And sadly, clients often think, oh, they'll reduce down what they're insuring for because they're looking to save money. And actually, it's the worst thing that people can do. And, you know, if you've got 20 pieces of jewelry and you're only insuring 10, the value of the 20 could have a huge effect on things like safes, alarms within a house. So your insurance company might not tell you what you need if you're only insuring 10 because they're working on that value. When they find out that you've got a lot more, again, that could affect your claim. So many, you know, I always say valuations are so important. And if you've never had one done at least once, I would always get one done, because then you've got a document to go back to, certainly in the event of a loss as well. So no, everything's moving.
Excellent. Well, and look, you mentioned you worked for 6 years. What was the impact of COVID on the business?
Interesting. I mean, it really gave us the opportunity to look inwards that we hadn't really done. We'd been sort of going for those, you know, 4.5 years, and it was very much, you know, head first and keep on going, and, you know, you're working hard and you're not really having the time to look at other things. And COVID really did give us that opportunity. We started a call on a Tuesday morning with the team, which we're still doing to this week, which has actually been a great benefit to us. And, you know, if you're a specialist and you're out on the road and you can't be on it, then that's fine. But then we've also done a couple of evening ones where I send the team a bottle of wine, and, you know, we do it in the evening because they've not been able to do the day call. But everybody really, really enjoys it. And as a team, it's really brought us together. During COVID, we were putting together quizzes. Again, that was great fun to send out to our client base. We were told that the first one was a bit too difficult, so we had to slightly alter the questions on the second time, which was quite funny. We totally redid our website during COVID, so we used the time, you know, to really look at the business. What else did we do? We obviously couldn't go out to see clients during a certain period, because obviously we weren't allowed into clients' homes, and our valuations take place in clients' homes. But it didn't stop us doing desktop updates. So we were really proactive in writing out to our clients to say, can we do a review of your jewelry if we've already done it? So we could do desktop updates, which really kept us going, to be honest. We also look after a group of restaurants, and they wanted their valuation doing while they were closed. So again, that was a great opportunity, and we were allowed to go into that environment. But also it really helped with sort of our sort of turnover and cash flow, which was great, and we really did appreciate it. What else did we do during COVID? Yeah, it was a really interesting time, and we were doing webinars once a week. So every week we did a webinar out to our client base on all different things, whether it was handbags, certain piece of jewelry, and we write an article a week. So we were sort of coinciding it with the article that had gone out, and then we did a webinar on it, and they were great fun. And we actually really enjoyed it. And we know the people watching in the comments that we've had back that people enjoyed it too. So, you know, it was very much using that time to promote the business. I could have very easily, you know, furloughed and not traded, but we decided that wasn't the route that we wanted to go down. We very much wanted to keep the information going out to our client base, and a lot of that are, you know, insurers, lawyers, wealth managers, and they were all working, so we were very much trying to keep the information going out.
Yeah,
so, a hard time, but we came through it. And we learned a lot too. And I also really learned how important my team are. I always knew they were, but actually that really did sort of bring everyone out, and the support was unbelievable.
Yeah, it sounded like you all pulled together, which is
We
great.
did, which was really nice. And I also made 2 guys directors and shareholders as we came out of that, because again, I want them to stay within the business. So no.
Fantastic. So some positive things from this.
Very much so.
In terms of moving forward, I suppose, what does the future look like, and what would you see as the challenges for the business?
I think the future is very bright. We rely hugely on third parties. So it's very much those business to business relationships. And I think the businesses that we work with know how well we look after their clients, because at the end of the day, we dip in and out. So we're very much doing the role that we play, but we're always wearing a couple of hats, and we know that we're always representing another company. So whether it's an insurance broker that's giving us their client that may have been a client for many, many years, when you're sending in a third party supplier, you really do need to know that they're going to look after your clients as much as you do. I think the fact that we're independent as well, we're not an auction house, we're not looking to, take things off the walls and sell them. So they know that we're pretty much a safe pair of hands, that we're not going to start targeting their clients for anything else other than insurance, or other than valuations. So I think the future is bright. The challenge is going to be that under insurance element, and trying to, again, part of it is education, the importance of valuations for clients. Clients often think that valuations are expensive, but they actually don't know why they think they're expensive. They've never had a quote. And we do what's called the walkthrough valuation, which I always think is an excellent sort of offering to clients, where if they really have never had a valuation done before, it's a 3-hour sort of slightly broken down valuation that we do global quantities rather than single items, but we very much give them a true value of what they need to be insured for at the end of that report. So in this crossroom photographs, and it's had a valuer go in there, so it's had an educated eye go in and actually provide them with advice. So, and I think that's a great offering that we do. So there's lots of good things. I suppose that the difficulty going forward, sort of 20 years down the road, is going to be a recruitment issue. My valuers have been in the business for years, but they've also handled a lot of items. And the auction houses these days don't necessarily sell everything, and they've become a lot more selective. So it's having that education. But also a lot of what we have to do is obviously training and making sure that our prices are kept up to date. So we're always going to art fairs and things like that, actually seeing where the price markets are going. Even a trip down around John Lewis to bring you up to date with just modern general contents and where those prices are going. I mean, we've seen the replacement costs for jewellery really increase over the last couple of years, but it's not necessarily always down to the price of gold and diamonds. It's actually manufacturing costs, because they've gone up. It has an effect. But I think it possibly will be a recruitment issue in years to come. But we'll see where we go.
Yeah, no, interesting. So yeah, about that sort of tacit knowledge of what something's actually worth, and how do you train someone or retain that knowledge within the business.
I mean, I'm spoilt by our specialists, and we always put the right people into any property. So often you can have 2 or 3 or 4 people in your home doing your valuation, depending on the requirements that you have. You know, do you need an old master picture specialist, or are you looking at a contemporary specialist? So again, or is it 18th, 19th century? Are they continental? Is it English art? So again, so many things dictate to the person that we put into a client's home, and very much their knowledge, you know. But I always provide clients with a bio on who's been in, so they know exactly the quality of the person that they've got. I've always said the Antiques Roadshow is not one person, and you should never just have one person doing a full valuation, because they don't necessarily have the width of knowledge that items require.
Yeah, makes sense. You can't be a specialist in everything.
No, occasionally we do see people that try.
That goes across many fields.
So it really is. I mean, I think it's doing the due diligence on the company that you're working with, making sure that the specialist actually has the knowledge, and yeah, it's very important.
Definitely. And for you, you know, you're an experienced business owner. What's been the biggest learning you've had as a business owner?
Delegation. You need to be able to do it. You can't do everything, even though I do try. And it's having a really good team around you, and bringing in support where needed. So in other words, we brought on a marketing company a couple of years ago, and that's been sort of a great assistance, because we're not necessarily marketeers. I've got excellent writers. So as I said, we produce an article every week. So I've got a great team of people that can write articles, but then it's us actually getting that information out. So it's using people around you that can help you within your business. What else? Yeah, I suppose it's the value in your team. And again, I think it's not being too greedy, charging your clients a fair price. I mean, I've not increased our price structure in 6 years. So it's you know, doing things for the right price in the right way. I'm very honest, and I think that comes over in our business. We very much, you know, always detail who's needed, how long they're needed, and what we're going to charge. I don't want to fall out over an invoice. I think we've done all the really good stuff when we've been in a client's house, and if you end up falling out over a bill, so we quote on every job we do. We also take a deposit on the jobs that we do. So I think, you know, we've got a good business, and I think people value what we do. So, and that's actually quite important to me. But I still want world domination.
Excellent. Okay, and on a similar note, have you got any advice you would give to your 18-year-old self?
Any advice to my 18-year-old self? I know what I'd probably tell my 18-year-old son. However, he's now 26, so it's slightly different. I think it's work hard. Going in, I suppose I see younger people today that they don't necessarily invest themselves in one business. They jump ship quite quickly. They'll move around. But I know that myself, it's my connections, and it's having that book of connections that I think if you're constantly moving around businesses, you don't necessarily get. Also, I think, you know, businesses do not run necessarily 9 to 5. So you do have to, you know, actually invest yourself into a company and give the time that, you know, support your employer, I suppose, as well. It sometimes always seems to be the other way around. But I think I got to where I am today from actually hard work and investing myself in at the time other people's businesses. So yeah, it's probably that. And oh, what else? I love the industry that we're in, so I would recommend the industry that we are in to anyone. I would have loved to have been a jewelry specialist. That's probably where I would have gone if I was going to do something else.
Come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, on that note of sort of hard work and loving something you do, what would you say inspires you?
Oh, what inspires me? I have someone behind me pushing me, and I think that's good. And I'm lucky that my partner is a true inspiration and also gives me ideas and helps me along the way. So it very much is that. But what inspires me? I've not yet finished what I want to do. I've still got a lot more to achieve. And I think that's what drives me. And also having, doing a great service to people. I truly love what we do, and I'm probably very sad that my job is my hobby. And you will hear that a lot from people that are in the sort of art world, that they'll say that their job is their hobby. And I can always find something to do, and there's so much to do, but there's so much excitement within it as well, that it's not sort of gloomy, or we work with very nice people too. So yeah, so I'm not quite sure.
Good.
Probably life. But I was going to say I'm looking forward to a break though.
Excellent. And look, as a final thing, are there any offers or any news you'd like to share with the audience?
So we, as I said, we do what's called the walkthrough valuation. So if you've never had a valuation and you look at your insurance policy, and when you are asked to give the values for the items that you have, and it's that or no idea, have a walkthrough done. It's £525 plus VAT. So it's probably there or thereabouts your policy excess, but it will be the best thing you ever do. And then we also offer desktop watch valuations. So if you've got a watch and you don't know the value, for £50 plus VAT, we can provide you with a valuation as a PDF for your watch, which I also think is, a come and get me price, especially as we see clients' watches go up hugely in value. And some guys just have one watch. They don't have other items of jewelry. But yeah, so that's quite a good offer too. Definitely. But I think the most important thing is call us, ask us, see what we can do to help. Read our articles, go onto our website, and if you truly don't know values, or if you've sadly lost somebody and you need a probate valuation, we're here to help. We even do divorce valuations, so making it very fair that when clients are sadly splitting up, then they actually get, they split their assets accordingly. Right. And then if you're looking to sell, get independent advice that will help you along the way in deciding which route to market to go. We can certainly help with that too. So yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, a couple of great offers there. So get in touch, take advantage. Great. Thank you for that.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks very much for taking part. It's great to find out about it. I always like to find out about different businesses. So thank you very much, Rachel.